Good morning, Edgewood Golf Shop. This is Greg. Yeah, Greg, do you get any tee times in like 5 minutes? Yeah, probably 8 minutes from now would be great. Okay, can you hang on 1 second? Okay, can you put us down there? We'll have 4 people, but we're going to be a little late. Is that okay? Well, sure, I have tee times later if you want, but you said 5 minutes. Yeah, I know. You know what? It's not going to work. That's too far away. Click. Welcome to What's My Tea Time podcast. It is an amazing thing that we have. Matt, how are you doing today? You look a little peaked.
You know what? I'm a little under the weather today, but I'm gonna push through this thing.
We don't ever do anything on these things anyway, so you'll be fine pushing through it. We do have our second guest of all time today, actually live in studio.
How much did you pay this one?
It's still under negotiation, actually. We are joined today by Mr. Michael McFeely. Mike, welcome to our podcast.
Was that some sort of performance art, like a one-man show?
Yes.
And I'm kind of getting into the Broadway,
Yes.
show stuff, and that was kind of like a one-person show, like a Robin Williams or a
Greg
Steve
McCullough,
Martin,
Mike McFeely,
telling some
all of.
stuff. The only difference is that there's no laugh line there. Like Steve
That's
Martin
true.
has people laugh at his jokes. That was just sort of a
Can we do that? It was just dead air. That's probably not what you're supposed to do on
kind
these
of like
podcasts.
Mike Pence over in Germany, just dead air. Give that laugh line, just have whoop.
Well, folks, this show will be a great show because it's already out of hand. We are sitting here in late February at Rose Creek Golf Course, and my Greggie Award last week was to Mother Nature, and Mother Nature is not listening because we have 5 more inches of snow, and we're expecting 5 more inches of snow in a couple days. So, Matt, what are we going to do?
She may win a back-to-back this week, possibly, huh?
We are joined by Mike McFeely today. Mike and I are, can I call you a good friend of mine?
Absolutely.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. Mike's a good
Although
friend
it's
of mine.
in jeopardy because can I read something?
Yes.
Let me read some texts that I received earlier
Yes,
this week.
this is awesome.
Okay, so earlier this week I get a text that says, "Hi Mike, Matt Cook and I have started a golf podcast. Would you like to be a guest on our talk show and talk some golf sometime?" I responded, "Sure. Give me a time and place and I will see if it works." Greg texts back and says, "Thanks. Maybe we can do it with a beer." Okay, now that piqued my interest. So,
I knew it would.
So right away I come back, yeah, absolutely, find a time. I show up today at the appointed time at Rose Creek. I see no beer. I have a bottle of water with me. You have a Pepsi.
I didn't
Cookie's got something like some cold medicine or something that he's got laced up with right now. He's stoned out of his gourd on that. But I see no beer on the table.
I didn't mention it's pay per performance. So it depends on how good you are today whether you get the beer.
Well, if you set the standard with that opening, then I'm golden then.
Wow. I love it. This is awesome. Michael is a very good golfer. Come on, you can say it.
No.
Yeah, you are. You're a good player. You play a lot in the events that are around town. You play at Village Green a lot
Yeah,
more.
not as much anymore. I don't play as many tournaments as I used to, but last summer I kind of tried to play a little bit more and played a couple of the club tournaments around town and stuff like that.
How was it?
It ranged from okay to what the hell am I doing here?
So how do you grade that? What's your basis for that?
Well, golf is a score-based game, and tournament is based on where you finish in the tournament, and so that's how I would grade it, is if I shoot a good score, and if I finish high in a tournament, I consider that a successful day. In a couple of them, not so much. I didn't do that, and so I did not consider that a successful day.
So a T11 wouldn't be good. A T1 is okay. A T what's good?
Yeah, top 5, I suppose. Depending on the field.
Are you old enough to be a senior yet?
No,
are you-
I will be 53 this year.
53.
53 in August. Yeah, so I'm still USGA and MGA. I don't know what NDGA is, but USGA and MGA, Minnesota Golf Association, I'm still a regular guy. 55.
Okay. So you're kind of one of those guys that's trying to hang on long enough to get to the senior tour.
I gave up on that long ago. No. No, the finger slipped long ago off that ledge.
So based on what's my tee time, do you ever make tee times like I just stated earlier, that story? Do you ever sit in the parking lot and go, do you got a tee time in 5 minutes, and then decide you don't want to play?
No, but I do hang around the golf shop sometimes and listen to the phone calls that come in, and I'm highly entertained.
It is unbelievable.
Because I don't know what's on the other end, but I can tell by your reaction sort of what's on the other end.
Oh, it is. You can't make it up.
No.
It's unbelievable.
And so if you wouldn't mind, we would like to do a live stream at the Forum of your golf shop on
Yes.
a busy July weekend.
Yes.
And just have it focused on your face as the phone calls are coming in.
We'll have to do it early because I start drinking early. And you know why now?
So you bring beer for yourself.
That's a constant. Well, that's why I have a fridge in my office. It's a constant, ongoing, everyday deal. I mean, Matt Cook never answers the phone, so he doesn't realize what kind of
He's got
stress is
people to do
involved.
that.
Got
He's
many
got
layers
peeps.
between me and
He's
the
got
phone.
peeps.
Yes.
As he's sucking on his secret cough drop here and not talking very much.
Ricola.
So what's the funniest thing you've seen on a golf course?
The
funniest.
Jeez. Well, I had to come prepared with material.
I told you that, but you said, I'll just wing it. I gave you a heads up.
The funniest thing I've ever seen on a golf.
Yes.
Well, some of it might involve me,
That's okay.
actually.
That's okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, and I think I've told these stories publicly, and if not, this will have some new content. So, Village Green is one of the golf courses I play the most, right?
Yes.
Probably the most. I play Edgewood, but I just
Right.
play Village more just because I know more guys there and I hang out there and everything else. But as you know, Village Green can get a little breezy at times. I mean, it's not a lot of protection there.
Okay, so when you mean breezy, what exactly is that? Because I live a kind of a sheltered life in the forest up north, and I'm not really sure what breezy means.
Well, breezy would be 25 miles an hour or more out of either the north or the south. So
Okay.
it's a wind hitting you like a freight train. If it was as windy on the PGA Tour as it is often at Village Green, they'd cancel the whole damn tournament because those guys can't play in 25 mile an hour winds.
So that's like Sunday at LA this week, where I thought they were all going to have to quit, and they're playing on a
Exactly.
55-degree,
Yes.
drizzly, the wind's not even really blowing kind of day.
Exactly. Right. So so the winds, ripping out of the north at 35 miles an hour at Village Green on a whatever, typical April or May day. And I say, you know what? I don't care. I've been sitting around all winter, like this winter, for example. I'm going to go out and play. I have a Sun Mountain golf cart.
Yep.
Don't start laughing yet. I haven't got to the punchline yet because my story actually has a punchline. So I have my Sun Mountain golf cart, and I'm on 18 at Village Green, right? There's water behind the green. There's water next to the green. It's a flat surface. There's no trees. Wind's howling. I get up to the green. I have about a, 6-foot putt I had chipped up to 6 feet. I said, I'll go knock this one in, no problem. I always put the brake on my Sun Mountain golf cart when I used to use one. Now I just carry my bag, in part because of these traumatic experiences I've had with these carts. So I did not put the brake on. And I kind of look and I go, I'm just going to knock this putt in real quick. I'll be fine. Go up, look at it. Probably missed it, but I'll just say I made it. Made the putt. Take my 4. Turn around, golf cart, nowhere to be seen on the green. Right? Nowhere to be seen on the green. So I go, this isn't good. Wind's out of the north and the hole goes north to south. So I naturally go, this is just not going to end well for me. I go to the water hazard behind the green, which would be on the south side of the green. And sure enough, the cart had been caught by the wind, pushed all the way across the green, which is not a small green at 18 of Village Green.
No.
And ended up in the water at Village Green with my brand new company issued BlackBerry in the pocket. So I say a few choice words like, "God darn it," take off my shoes, take off my socks, roll up my pants, go in the water. It's freezing, it's muddy, it's gross. As I'm doing this, a lady's walking by with their dog and looks at me and, not wise enough, just keep on walking, stops and says, well, what are you doing? And I said, what does it look like I'm doing?
Oh, of course you did.
Well, I don't know. I'm getting my golf bag and cart out of the water hazard because it went into the hazard. And then she just, and she moved on.
There really should be a disclaimer on those Sun Mountain speed carts about
There should be.
things like that happening.
Now, even better, I'm not done yet, Pally. Okay? I'm not done yet. Okay. So you'd think that if I did that once, a guy would learn, right? Always put the brake on, right? Always put the brake on a Sun Mountain cart. Later on that same year, only a couple of months later, I'm on 13 at Village Green. Kind of a raised tee box, water to the north of this tee box. This time the wind's coming out of the south.
Because you're not playing anymore when the wind's blowing from the north.
If you don't play when it's windy around here, you don't play golf, pal. So the wind's coming out of the south. And I get up on the tee box to hit my drive, and I say, "No, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not going to, don't even think about it." Stick my peg in the ground, line up, and I see out of the corner of my peripheral vision the cart starting to move. Oh, bleep. I reach, can't get there. Wind blows it down the hill into the water with my new company issued BlackBerry that I just got after I wrecked the other one in the water.
Good stuff.
I stopped using,
Blackberries?
yes, and also Sun Mountain carts as well. So I have 2 of them in my shed at home if somebody wants to take them off my hands at a very reasonable price.
So we do have some stories like that. We have one at Edgewood that I remember. This time the wind was blowing from the south.
Okay.
So as you're standing in the golf shop at Edgewood, a lot of guys will put their speed cart there and go to the first tee. Well, the person put his speed cart there, obviously didn't put his brake on, came into the shop, and we're talking, and we see his cart start to go down the cement. Kind of goes down the grass, and we both looked at him and go, "Your cart's leaving. It'll be okay." So it hits the hill on one tee box at Edgewood, and I'm like, if I were you, I would go get that. Oh no, it'll be fine. It doesn't go straight anyway, so it'll curve and tip over, right?
Is this Jimmy LaGuire? Because he told a very similar story.
It could be. I don't think so though, because this one gets to the edge of the tee box at Edgewood and it looks like it's going to stop, and it starts to trickle down. And I said, "You really should go get that one." And he goes, "No, it'll be fine because it'll just tip over, right?"
Yep, sure.
So it goes down the hill, across 8 tee box, just going dead straight. The guy is starting to look at it going, and now it's too late,
Yep,
right? It's
yep.
the speed cart's moving. Goes across the 8 tee box, goes down that little hill, goes up in front of Old 9 Green, and goes into the pond on 9.
Oh, ooh.
Now that's about a 110-yard little jaunt, right?
Yeah.
So he goes over there and he's standing there looking at it, and obviously guys are coming. So the guy comes up and he goes, "What happened?" He goes, "Well, my speed cart and my bag are in there." So they start laughing, and the guy's trying to get it, right? So now we have a chain going. We have one guy hanging on to another guy who's trying to get his speed cart that's in the water. So I said, "Do you have anything in there?" He goes, "Well, I have my phone and my wallet and stuff. I need to get that out, right?" Well, needless to say, as he's doing that, he slips and he falls in.
Nice.
He can't find the bag. So he didn't have it hooked on or something because the bag is off the speed cart. We can find the speed cart, but we can't find the bag. So it's gone. So now he goes, "Well, now what do I do?" I said, "I have no idea. I have no idea how deep that pond is, actually." He goes, "Well, I really don't need anything but my phone and my wallet." I said, "Well, we'll figure something out." So he gets out. Guess where his phone and his wallet are? In his
pants.
pocket.
So when he fell.
Yes.
Oh my.
Yes.
Oh my.
I laughed with my back turned because
Yes.
I didn't want. He was distraught. He was just distraught. So Matt, you haven't said much now. Do you have any speed cart stories?
Well, we've had several of speed carts that also have hit the ponds around here as well, so that's not totally uncommon. Of course, some electronics were trashed in the process. If we bring back beer, I've got a really good one. I remember one time we had a couple young gentlemen that were making the turn and came on in, and I think they'd each probably got a 12-pack for the back 9. I think they were both pretty new players to the game. Well, they came out of the grill and they went to jump on their golf cart. The only problem is it wasn't their golf cart. And in fact, it was a golf cart just been returned, so there was no clubs on it. So these two jump on there and they head off the number 10 tee. And there was a couple of us in the shop at the time were looking like they didn't even realize they didn't get the golf clubs. Well, we're waiting and we're waiting, and we've had 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes have passed, 15 minutes have passed, and we were thinking we should probably really go out and see what's going on. We didn't know if they were kicking it around or what it was going. Well, sure enough, finally, after it was about at least 15 minutes, these two kids come back once again, kind of a little bit distraught, like, "What happened to our golf clubs?" Like someone stole them. There they were sitting right in front of the golf shop. And
Nice.
So that was a little interesting.
Funny stories. Michael, we've been talking about the rules of golf, and they changed in 2019. And I
Yes.
don't know if you've been watching any golf on the PGA Tour.
I've been getting emails with with odd titles to the videos that I've been afraid to open.
Yes, I've been sending out USGA emails to our men's club, and they have certain words that go with golf: tees, balls, penalty areas, things like that. So Mike starts to text me, and he asked if it's okay to open up these emails that have balls in them.
Yes.
Not really sure if that was.
When I get an email that says moving balls from another man, I'm a little trepidatious whether I should open that video, especially at work, right? I mean, at home,
Right.
in the privacy of my own home, I can open whatever emails I want.
Right.
But at work, I mean, I'll just leave it there. I'll
Well,
just leave
have
it
you
there.
looked at the new rules at all? Do you care about the new rules at all? Doesn't anybody care about the new rules at all?
No.
Nobody cares?
No.
Have you seen the funny drops they're doing on the tour?
I have seen that.
What do you think
I
of
don't
that?
understand why now we're supposed to drop. Is it by our knee?
By your knee.
Yes. I don't understand why we're doing that.
Originally, they had ankle. They had
Yep,
ankle
yep.
height.
I heard somebody
they
talking about that on
didn't-
the broadcast
For some
last
reason,
weekend.
they weren't really comfortable with that, and they didn't. They need to stay low enough so the ball won't run out of the smaller area that we use now as the drop area. It's not called drop area, but penalty area that they have. So they decided on the knee. But it is kind of funny to see everybody semi-curtsying out there as they're trying to drop the ball.
I don't know the difference. I mean, I know it's an 18-inch or a 2-foot difference, but is it, if you're dropping the ball on a slope, it's going to move anyway, even if you're dropping it from your knee.
Or in the case of Ricky Fowler, you're going to drop it and walk away from it, then it's going to roll in the water. So it doesn't
Yeah,
really,
right.
really
And
matter.
so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter because
So-
when you and I, and probably Cookie too, were growing up, we used to drop it over our
Yes.
shoulder.
Correct.
Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, you had to face
Yes.
the target and then drop the ball over your right or left shoulder, then quick spin around, and if it was going down a bank into the water, you had to dive after it.
Now none of us can even get our hands behind our shoulder to drop it like that. So
That's true.
In that case, it's good. I remember guys trying to drop it, it hit their shoulder, it would
Yep.
hit their behind. It was just like,
Yep.
what in the world are we doing? So no rules that you want to talk about or anything like
No, we
that?
can. If we're talking about the actual rules of golf, capital R, capital G, how many guys that play Edgewood or play Rose Creek play by the rules of golf?
Great question.
I would
just
say
on an everyday
I would
basis,
say 5%.
I was going to say 10. I was going to say 1 out of 10. Yeah, you're probably correct.
You know.
So the new rules, I believe, one of their goals was to try to get it to be more so people could play normally and not be breaking bunches and bunches and bunches of rules, and so they could actually post a score to get a handicap.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think I would say even like out here in Edgewood, I imagine, I don't know what the percentage is exactly. I think that people play by some of the rules. I think just being either ignorant or not knowledgeable about
Right,
several
yep,
others,
yep.
they kind of fall a little bit short on some of the situations.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think hopefully they were trying to make an attempt at making some things a little bit more simple. But I think as we've found on tour already in this short season, there have been already several controversies.
If the issue is to make it more simple for your average everyday golfer, I don't think that should be the focus, because I think your average everyday golfer, as we've been talking about, doesn't necessarily worry about the rules anyway. They're out to have a good time, and so if they hit a ball out of bounds 175 yards off to the right, they just walk up and drop a ball anyway, and they just add up whatever number they want to have in their head, and if it goes to be in a handicap situation, which again, how many people actually ever use their handicap in a situation that's going to matter anyway? I don't know that, to me, that's that big of a deal.
One of the new local rules for the out of bounds is just exactly what you said, and it's okay to do that. To hit it
It's
out of
okay to go up and drop a ball.
Here we go. It's okay. I don't remember what that was about, but I do remember what that was about.
That was a TV commercial. Should I refresh your memory?
I don't know what you're
It was a
talking
TV
about.
commercial and
TV
a radio commercial, which, by the way, when I said I was going to do a podcast with Greg McCullough, my daughter Emma went, "Oh, is he going to talk like a robot in the podcast?" because she remembered it's okay to pick up a ball and put it in your pocket.
You know, you got to be known
It's
for
okay
something.
to play 4 holes and stop playing.
20 years of commercials, and Matt can attest to this. I still do that when we go to do the commercials. And I think they just do the commercials now just to see me do that continually. It really bites.
Hopefully those ads are buried deep.
Oh, they're out there somewhere.
You and Lisa do such a good job, they want to keep coming it back just to watch me struggle through it.
Mike, it's so funny because when me and Greg are there, it's like you'd hope that after you get done, they say, "Hey, okay, that's all right." For us, when we know we really met the mark, that wasn't horrible.
Well, that'll work, I guess. See you guys later.
So I'm sure you're already a dedicated listener to our podcast. Probably not. But we do have a little segment we call By the Numbers. And we
Okay.
kind of throw out numbers and we try to discuss what that means.
Okay.
So if I said to you, Mike McFeely, here's my number, 1,073,000, has to do with golf. What do you think that would be? Matt Cook, 1,073,000.
The number of golf balls lost every year on a golf course.
You are extremely intelligent. Did I say that out loud?
Yes, you did.
Can we edit that out, please?
I think we can
Wow.
get that out.
That is actually the number of range balls we hit at the Fargo Park District last year.
Oh.
From our 3 driving ranges.
Wow.
But you're close. So if I gave you 300 million, what's that number? 300 million. What did you just say?
Golf balls.
Golf balls lost per year in the U.S. 300 million.
Wow.
No kidding. Where do they all go?
Water hazards, lakes,
Yeah, but our lakes would be 100 feet high.
oceans.
The other question is, Matt, where do our driving range balls go?
You know, for the longest
Hundreds
time,
of dozens a year.
I think for the longest time ours were going underground as they were getting driven in there.
Okay, so do you remember Leo Marshall, the golf professional at
Yes.
Grand Forks Country Club? They redid their range. And Leo was always one we would ask, how can you order 500 to 600 dozen range balls a year and you have to do it every single year?
Sure.
So they were going to redo their range. Well, guess what? They were going to dig up their range. He was so excited. He was there. He was ready. He thought he was going to find all these golf balls. None. No golf balls. He was so disappointed. Now he's still, where do they go? I don't know where they go.
Oh, he thought they're going to be buried.
Yes, they were all going to pop up.
Sure.
After they dug up the driving range. And
they
none.
didn't.
He got none.
Wow.
You know, we find them in players' carts. We find them out on the course. We find them in our hazards. So I think the driving range, the super range, I guess, is the ball of choice for many of our players out here.
Correct. Yes.
That wouldn't be such a great decision on your golf course, considering you've got the short flight
Those
golf balls.
12 compression golf balls at the Edgewood driving range.
Thank goodness. Can you
Why do
imagine
I-
before they used to have regular flight balls there?
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
I can't hit my driver more than 120 yards.
How many windshields have been broken by cars driving into Edgewood from somebody hitting one over the fencing on the left?
I would say that we probably have about 3 to 5 a year
Okay.
that happens to.
Have you ever done that?
Hit a range ball into a
Yes.
car?
Or a golf ball.
I've hit a golf ball into a car.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have I. Owatonna Brooktree Country Club. It was a public muni in Owatonna. The 18th hole, there's a parking lot to the right of it, to the right of the green, and it was a ways to the right of the green. And I shonkade one coming up 18, and a guy was pulling into a parking spot. Big old Suburban. In fact, it was the Park District director at Owatonna. Jeff, I think was his first name, and I don't know. This is like 30 years ago. I don't remember. But he's pulling into a parking spot. Sean Kay goes, spins off to the right in the middle of his Suburban windshield. Spiderwebbed it. Oh, my goodness gracious.
That's scary when you're driving. Have you ever had a golf ball hit you while you're driving?
Yes.
That is scary. That's because you're just driving along and all of a sudden, especially that. The one that I was hit by didn't smash the window, but it just stuck in the window. You know, we had people where the ball hits in their window and
Right.
it stays there. Just stays there.
Right.
So they drive around the corner, and obviously there's 1 to 35 people on the driving range, and they think they know who did it. And he came up. He goes, well, "I never hit a ball into your window." He goes, "Well, there's the ball right there." He goes, "Well, that's not my ball. That's just a range
prove
ball." Yeah, so that's crazy. So you live in the state of Minnesota.
I do.
Still? They still let you do that?
They do.
I'm kidding.
They won't let me in North Dakota.
That's good. I don't want you here. The lowest handicap by state. Where do you believe Minnesota ranks? And it's high. I'll
Like
give you a
high
little-
in terms of good
high
high.
and better. Yes.
Better. 5.
Yes. 2. They're the second.
Really?
They're the second lowest amongst active golfers. Lowest handicap by state.
Florida and Arizona are going to be at the bottom because there's so many golfers.
So many seniors like me. Thanks a lot, Matt. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate that. Ohio is number 1.
Okay.
14.9.
What was Minnesota?
15.2.
Jeez.
The average handicap. What do you think? Active golfers, I think they said that play at least
That's like-
around 20 rounds a
Oh,
year.
that many? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
20.3.
And I was going to say like 21.
16.5.
It is that low.
That I never thought we were that good. Yeah, I know. Where did that come from, right?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so
That was an eye roll, by the way, listeners.
single digit handicaps, right? Who's got the lowest or the highest percentage?
The highest percentage.
Highest percentage.
Not the highest
Correct.
number, the highest percentage.
Highest percentage of single digit
I'll just say
handicaps.
Minnesota.
Minnesota is 3
Okay.
at 27.3%. That's a quarter of the people that play golf in Minnesota are single digit handicaps.
Let's stop there. How accurate is that number? I've played a lot of golf. We've all played a lot of golf. You're a Minnesota guy,
Right.
Cookie. I'm a Minnesota. I've played a lot of golf in
Yep.
Minnesota. I play a lot of golf in Minnesota, Village
Yes,
Green,
you do.
right?
Yes.
And a course with
Lots of low handicaps.
lots of good players for a public course. If you're trying to tell me that one of every 4 of those people are legitimate, let me repeat that, legitimate single-digit handicappers, I have a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you.
Number 1 was Ohio. So I don't know what's going on in Ohio. They're
Jack Nicklaus.
penciling it out pretty
Scioto
good.
Country Club.
28.2% of the active players.
My God. Okay. Yeah.
That's extremely high.
That's one of every 3, roughly. One of every
Yes.
3 golfers in Ohio is a single-digit
So
handicapper.
what do you suppose the average is? Average. This is the average of all the states. Active players, you got to have at least like around 20 rounds to play. Ohio's 1 at 28.2%. Minnesota's 3 at 27.
18%.
24%.
Oh, good. Okay.
I'm not quite sure that works.
You know, we have a sandbagger problem. We have a vanity bagger
We have a reverse sandbagger
Right.
problem, right?
So active players, and they use active golfer, average number of rounds per year. So again, I think they have this, part of this is a little skewed because they have to have a handicap.
Yep.
That's the only
Sure.
way they can track this. So the average number of rounds played per year by an active golfer.
18 hole rounds?
Yes.
Okay. 35.
Matt, by Braille. You can just do it by Braille if your
27.
voice is bad. 16.4. So the average active golfer plays 16.4 rounds per year.
And is like a 9 handicap.
And is like a single digit handicap.
Once again,
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
Wow.
I think we have a few players out here that maybe have 15 or 16 recorded rounds as well. But somehow
To play
they
every day?
45 to 50
No.
rounds in the
Would you
summer.
like to name names, Matt? I can name a couple names for you. You can just nod your head yes or no. I know they listen to our podcast.
Right.
I could probably come up with a couple of those names too. I'm probably thinking I could guess a couple of those names, but I will not.
Matt, do you have any numbers for us today? Are you going to contribute at all, or are you just out?
I'm just so out. Okay, I've got one. This is a
Okay.
pretty gimme, but I just heard this the other day. 4.25.
That's Mike's handicap. His handicap's a lot lower than that.
4 1/4 inches.
Has to do with the golf hole.
And it is. Has to do with the golf hole. Okay. So how did they come up with 4.25 as far as being the diameter of the golf hole?
I'm going to say it has something to do with the size of the bottle that the guys were using when they started playing.
Well,
A bottle of scotch.
It's a
The
bottle,
bottle
yes,
of scotch.
Yes. And why do we only have 18 holes? Right? Because those guys that started to play had such a good time that after 18 holes, they were done. They were passed out.
You ever seen the Robin Williams bit?
Unbelievably
Oh
funny.
my goodness gracious. That is,
is, yes.
That is like wet your khakis funny. I mean, oh goodness, that's funny.
No, they talked about, how they used to actually have to dig their hole. So, of course, there was no uniform as far as in size once again.
Sounds like sand greens to me.
So, supposedly then they started using like a drainage pipe, which happened to be 4 1/4 inches. And so they would use that as far as make that hole once again.
Really?
And that's coming
All right.
from Michael Breed. So it's got to be the
Oh
truth.
God. He's enthusiastic about the game.
He is fired up. He is fired up. Mike, what else do you want to talk about?
I don't know. What
You
do you
know,
want to
us
talk
three.
about?
Well, here I've been thinking about this, and I know it goes slowly. And us three in this sitting right here are really, really good mentally. Really good mentally. We all
Very
have positive,
strong.
very positive thoughts.
Yes.
Can you talk about some of the feelings, or what is your craziest thought that you've had while standing on a tee box about maybe something good or bad is going to happen?
Well, it's always the same thought, which is don't hit this one 500 yards to the right don't hit it five. It's never a positive thought. So I don't have any like specific, don't kill that person over
Right.
there type thought, because there's never a gallery. But I mean, it just comes down to the basic: just don't miss this. Don't hit it sideways off the tee, right? I mean, isn't that and
Yes.
and
Yes.
and is that not a standard thought?
No.
I mean, it's not.
No.
Really?
No.
McCullough's just thinking dead center of the fairway.
Well, I'm picking out blades of grass.
He knows every time it's just like right in the middle. There's out of bounds there. There's a hazard there. Didn't even know that.
Matt, any good thoughts that you have going during a round?
Unfortunately, and I think we've had this discussion before, I'm similar to Mike. Honestly, I think if you could put what's going on in my mind on video, it would be one of the scariest horror films you'd have ever seen.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I tell you, I don't know what it is. It's not, for me, off the tee is not so bad most of the time. For me, when it really gets scary is on the putting green.
It should be the easiest thing, Matt.
It should be, but it is when I go on the putting green. I mean the practice green. Real easy there, but you get on the golf course and all of a sudden that 4 1/4 inches just went to 4.25 millimeters.
It looks like a lot smaller, doesn't it?
That ball's not fitting in that hole. And so
It's a hard game. And you and I, Greg, have talked about this
all the time.
All the time.
Yes.
As we're sitting around at Edgewood or sitting around after bowling or exchanging text messages as you're sending me moving balls videos. It's a really hard game.
It's not hard to make contact with the ball, but it's hard to get the ball to go where you want it to go and the distance you want it to go, I think.
Yes. No
Incredible.
question.
So one of the things that I admire about people who are very good at it, or if you've been around tour players or their thought process, is I cannot tell you, I bet 90% of the time I go birdie bogey, or more than that. And I don't think about it necessarily, but 90% of the time I go birdie bogey. The good players or the great players, especially the players that we see on TV, and Tom Hoagie does a really good job of this, is those people just keep going birdies. They don't even think about the bad stuff. So how do they do that? I don't know how they do that.
They're really good at what they do, first of all, right? I mean, that starts there because it.
Yeah, but us three, we're pretty good at golf. Apparently we're not average because 24% of us are single digits. I thought we were better than average, but apparently we're not.
Apparently just average.
But we're 75 or lower most of the time. That's pretty good. You wouldn't think that we would have these distressed thoughts.
Well, do you think it has, I don't play nearly the amount of golf as I did 20 years ago or 10 years ago for that matter even. And so I seem to relate back to so many of the bad situations. I would guess, like you say, the talent level is so good there. They're going to see a lot of positive experiences, but they're also going to have some of those bad experiences, but they've had so many of those as well, they've been able to play through and play out of it. And so, once again, it almost turns into, I would guess, a confidence level, doesn't it, to a certain degree? I go out there just thinking, I haven't hit a lot of range balls. I don't know where the ball's going, so I've got no clue, first of all, if it's going right or left that day. And with some of the experiences probably not being so favorable.
So is there
but isn't that part of it too? I'm being somewhat facetious saying that I think the ball, I'm worried about the ball going sideways, but
Correct.
it does. I'm not thinking about it hitting the sprinkler line, I'll put it that way. Okay, that's fair enough. But I'm also at a point where I don't play nearly as much golf as I used to, and I'm getting older. I know it's hard to tell by looking at me because I'm fit, I'm trim, I'm ripped, but I'm getting older. 20 years ago when I was playing 18 holes and practice, 5 days a week and practicing and really trying to see what I could do in terms of just playing in the KX Amateur
Yep.
or whatever. There were days or there were stretches where I would have a lot of confidence and I wouldn't worry about. I knew I was going to shoot below 75 at one of our local courses. That didn't enter the picture. And you get in stretches where I would stand on a tee and I knew it was going to be in the fairway. And at worst, it was going to be 5 yards off the right side of the fairway, and there wasn't even a left side of the golf course. When I was playing a lot and I knew kind of what I wanted to do, and I would stand over a ball in the fairway, and there was nothing to the left of the green. The world ended at the right middle of the green because I knew I was going to be able to hit a 5-yard cut, or if I overcut, I was going to miss it to the right. And so I could look at the pin and say, okay, I'm going to hit this within 6 feet. I wouldn't do it. But I would say I was going to do that.
Sure.
Now I'm going, I just want to hit the green with a wedge, for God's sakes. No, seriously. I mean, I'm not even thinking now about trying to hit it 5 feet away. I'm literally trying to hit the green.
So for you, this is something that's kind of started to happen as you've gotten older.
Oh, no question. And before I started getting older, I also was playing less, right?
Right.
I mean, and so I think it's gone hand in hand for me personally that I've gone from somebody who could have a fair amount of confidence I was going to hit the ball kind of where I wanted to most of the time, to a person who now, when I'm on the golf course, I'm just trying to make solid contact, and where it goes, and hopefully it goes somewhere near where I want. One of our mutual friends, John Lumborg, and I, who is a good player.
Good player.
Right? Now when we play, if we hit a solid shot and it doesn't go where we want, and one of us complains, the other guy goes, shut up, you hit it solid. you can't complain if you hit it solid.
Right.
If it's short, long, left or right, it's like, whoop, I got it in the middle of the club face. So I think the standards change for everybody as you get older and depending on how much you play.
So when you're playing in an event, this is an event, is there a course and or a golf hole, it could be the whole course, or a golf hole that creates extra stress when you're playing an event?
For me, any course has got
Any course, any course that has OB left?
I remember
Right or left? Which one is it?
I remember for the longest time playing in the Pro Gal, and I swore that Mark Holm did this to me every time.
Two?
I started on 2. And I'm like, how am I getting off this tee? Do I hit 7-iron? What do I do here? Because I might as well just go ahead, grab a couple of golf balls out of my bag, throw them over the road, and then start.
Yep. And it's funny you should mention that hole, because I didn't think of one until you brought that up. But back in the day when I played Pine to Palm once in a while, my shot has historically been I've tried to cut the ball because I know where it's going, I think. And I could hit 500 cuts in a row with a driver or a 3-wood or whatever. I'd get up on number 2 at DL Country Club and snap hook it or hit a rope hook out of bounds. And that's, probably pressure, swing speed, getting quick, no transition, whatever. But that was, got to the point where I was hitting frickin' 5-irons off the tee because I didn't want to go out of bounds. So that would be the one hole,
and
similar to Cookie.
And you just have some of those bad memories sitting in the back of your head. So like last year, I'm playing DL on the Pro Gal once again, and I just hit several good tee shots. I think probably started on 2 once again. I don't remember how I started out. But anyhow, I get up to 15. I just hit several good tee shots right in a row now. Get up there and I'm like, gosh, there's out of bounds on the left there, isn't
Into
there?
the Zorba's playground?
1,
Not that I've ever been
3.
in
No, 15.
15.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Into Furco's driveway.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
I shouldn't be even talking about this right now because I don't know if I busted any windows or not, but it was like 1, 3.
And they took all those trees down on the
5.
left now, so it's even scarier. So my golf hole was used to be number 9 at Edgewood, now it's number 18. Dogleg left, par 4. At that, for a long time, there was hazard on the left,
sure,
the water's
yes,
on the left. So obviously, I was dreaming we were going to go play in the Edgewood Pro-Am, and I always, right, like Mark Holmes starts you on 2. Kingswood always used to start me on 9. So I'm thinking the day before, I said, okay, so I'm going to make 6, 7, or 8 to start my day, and it's going to be over. So I'm dreaming, and I get up there, and I hit my tee shot right down the middle, and I knock it on the green. I make like a 15-footer for birdie. I'm thinking, I got this covered. This is awesome. This is so good. I walk off the green, and there's a guy in a cart standing there. And he goes, Greg, how you doing? I said, well, no, I just made birdie. I'm good. He goes, well, unfortunately, you have to play the same hole 18 times today. So we're going to take you back, and you got to play it 17 more times. I woke up wringing wet. I couldn't go back to sleep. So it's a scary game sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a
like
really
every
scary
time.
game.
Yeah.
So, Matt, I know you've done a lot of talking. We usually finish up our show with a Greggie or Mattie Award. Do you have a Mattie Award at all today?
I could give a Mattie Award.
Okay.
And I think mine would be to that fast-playing J.B. Holmes. I think that's my award. Did any of you guys end up enduring through that 5.5 hours of play?
I did not watch it, but I read about it that he was the slowest golfer. He was 2 holes behind, right? And he didn't get penalized.
I don't get it. How about, did you see Matt Every at theweb.com? It was so slow that on 16 fairway, he went and grabbed a chair, brought the chair out in the fairway and sat in it.
That's
Trying to send a message as well.
Well,
That
you
is
would
really
you would
good.
certainly hope so.
Yes.
You'd
But
certainly
it's
hope
at a
so.
point where we're really trying to get the game to speed up. And I think that's obviously one of the things that hinders us from probably getting more people to come into the game or staying with it because of length of time. you would just think at some point we'd be able to make that statement. Even, what was it, Adam Scott, I think, even this past week, wasn't he calling for someone just penalize me, I'll be the poster boy, you can use me as the
And
example.
he is not fast.
Right,
No.
exactly.
But that's on the PGA Tour, and it's on the USGA and the R&A because they don't have the titleists to penalize somebody.
Right.
Again,
Right.
nobody has the guts to go out to JB Holmes and say, I know you're leading the tournament. I know you're trying to win whatever the $1.5 million. I know this is going to get you into X number of events for X number of years. I know this is a life-changing event, but you know what? You're 2 holes behind. So if you don't close the gap in the next 5 minutes, we're going to penalize you. And if you don't close the gap after that, we're going to keep penalizing you, and you're not going to win the damn tournament. That'll solve the problem.
Right.
And JB Holmes will be mad, and
He'll figure it out.
and he'll raise a stink, and he'll and he'll blast everybody, and in the end, everybody will go, yeah, play faster, dummy.
Well, and he will. I mean, I've always said this: guys and gals will play as slow as you allow them to play. So if you don't do anything to them, they'll take them 6 hours to play. So do you think a shot clock would work? So the player actually has a shot clock, and he actually can see a shot clock.
Isn't there like a tour out there that has that?
European Tour did it last year.
I thought there was like some little knockoff
Maybe it
fake
is.
tour that I saw on the Golf
Maybe it
Channel
is. Well,
one
Doesn't
weird
the
night
PGA
that has
Tour
it.
even have? I know they don't enforce it, but isn't it like a 40-second rule?
40-second rule.
But obviously that is not enforced. But I think part of that, as far as the strategy of the game, not that we have to make super quick decisions, but should be that we're not worried about air density and temperature and everything else going into every factor of every single shot.
Analytics.
Exactly. You think, it should be definitely enforced.
So my Greggie Award this week goes to Matt Kuchar. Matt Kuchar's been taking a lot of heat the last 2 weeks because it came public that he paid his caddy when he won $1.3 million. $1.3 million. Because his agreement with his caddy, he paid him $3,000. And once that started to get out, the proverbial social media snowball started to take effect, and he finally, in my opinion, hopefully put it to rest and got the caddy what he needed to get. So Matt is a very nice man, but it was a mistake.
He didn't pay him the market rate though.
He did not pay him 10%.
No, he
That is
paid him
correct.
$50,000, which is a nice week for anybody except the head pro at Edgewood. That's an awfully nice week. But he didn't, and it's $50,000's better than $3,000.
Life-changing for that caddy, and that, from what we're hearing, again, there's two sides to every story.
Yep.
What we're hearing is that's kind of what he wanted to make things kind of disappear.
Yeah, I think there's some negotiations that went
Something
on.
like that. Well, Michael, thank you very much for joining us. What do you have going in your life these days? Give yourself a little plug.
Well, I'm here, so that tells you I don't have much going on.
Is that a sign?
Oh, did you feel that? You can always count on Mike to get you right, kind of right in the back.
I thought my flu and cold was really killing me right now.
Do you want to hit
but-
the off button now so we can just quit this?
I'm just working, waiting for spring like everybody else. I did not get a chance to go down south this winter, so I'm starting to grab golf clubs around the house on Sunday afternoons, and my wife is going, "What are you doing?" I'm going nuts right now because it's 15 below, and I'm watching these jamokes in Naples, Florida, or wherever they are, Boca Raton on the senior tour, and I'm going nuts. And she says, "Just don't break any windows."
That's okay. It'll
I
be
said,
fine.
"Whatever, fine,
Yeah, you'll
whatever."
be fine.
Yep.
It's a range ball. It doesn't count. Well, once again, Michael, thank you very much. We hope you have a great spring. We hope to see you in the next 3 weeks or so if Mother Nature kind of decides to change things up. Once again, if you'd like to help us sponsor this show so our wives, Sherry and Susan, can stop working, you can certainly email me at gregm@pga.com.